Hi TikTok, it's RJ, otherwise known as RJ_hooks on all of my platforms. Here are the thoughts on the future of my content, the potential TikTok ban, and REDnote. So first of all, for those of you who haven't seen my videos or who don't understand, content creation is actually very difficult. Most of the time I'm my own videographer, my own editor, I do my own lighting. So balancing that with regular cosplay content, vlogs, behind the scenes, tutorials, on top of regular work, and just life in general, which honestly 2024 was the worst year of my entire life. I suffered a lot of loss and tragedies. It's very time consuming and draining, even if I still consistently put out quality content. So my eventual goal this year is to create a Patreon. And right now I'm hoping to have 2 to 3 tiers to start off with, having things like extra photo edits for people who just want more cosplay content or for artists who need references, polls, random tidbits, behind the scenes, bloopers, as well as more tutorials and backgrounds, including lighting backgrounds, how I edited things, or explaining the entire process from start to finish of an entire video. And as time goes on and I start to save up and plan more, I do want to have things like stickers, one-on-one talking sessions to maybe help you with your goals, and other perks. This is all very scary to me. I've never done anything like it, so it's taking me time to get there, but that is one of the big goals for 2025. Timeline of this all, however, not only depends on my own life, but on the future of TikTok. As of the evening of Wednesday, January 15th, 2025, we, the public, have no confirmation on the outcome of TikTok. If you've watched my video tutorials or my vlogs or just pay attention to how I create my content, I'm always trying to get people to think about critical thought. And lately I've seen so much fear-mongering and misinformation about TikTok and the US government, which is extremely frustrating and disheartening. However, it's predictable, it's what I've expected, this is what I've seen on the internet for years. And as a black person who went to school for science, physiology, who really values paying attention to detail, a lot of my life has consisted of dealing with the unknown or holding space for multiple ideas, opposing feelings, things that don't make sense together. So I'm used to sitting in discomfort. It doesn't mean that I enjoy discomfort, it doesn't mean that it's easy for me, but I'm still capable of functioning and forward thinking under stress. However, a lot of individuals and people collectively really aren't that great at not jumping the gun, thinking 3 steps ahead, so that's why I'm also making this video. So despite this video, despite my demeanor which I put on for the camera, I'm terrified of TikTok leaving. I'm going to be losing a lot of my life if this app goes, to put it bluntly. And it doesn't matter what other people say, it doesn't matter who your friends who don't like TikTok say, who your family who uses TikTok but hates it says, what the government says, what people who just goof around on the app say. You are valid in being scared of this app going away. But despite my fears and my anxieties, I refuse to purposely spread misinformation, so I want to encourage all of you to fact check. Whenever you hear a new piece of information, check it out from multiple sources. Be critical of the things that you're hearing. Every single thing is not breaking news, every single thing is not a new piece of information. Sometimes people are just taking things that are obvious and just adding breaking news to it to make it seem like, oh my gosh, something big happened, something new happened, causing more fear, causing more confusion, causing more panic. Be on the lookout for things like that. Be on the lookout for people who profit from fear. Your words matter, how you phrase things matters. As for plans to going to other apps, I do have a Blue Sky account, I do have a Threads account. My Blue Sky is pretty much dead. I don't think I'm going to use it at all. I might delete it. Threads is hanging on by a thread. I might use it, but it's not looking too good. I do have a Pinterest that I stopped using, and I feel really bad about it. I do want to get back into it. It's just a lot of work. It's also just a lot of energy as I'm already on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram constantly. But one place you will not find me is REDnote. Being a black male cosplayer specifically opens up a different type or different types of discrimination or issues that someone who maybe has one of these identities would maybe not face, or not face as much. Currently, you might have seen some of my Gojo videos going viral, and yes, they're doing well, but I'm also dealing with hundreds of racist comments and slurs daily. And this has been my reality of being a black male cosplayer for over a year now. What I'm not implying is that all of China is racist and that they won't welcome me, etc. What I am implying is that racism is everywhere, and I am going to have the experience of being a black male cosplayer no matter where I go. But for me, if I'm going to choose the platform that I'm going to experience these things on, I would probably do it in a place where I can understand the language and I can only fluently understand English. In case you're still wondering, like, what the heck does being a black male cosplayer have to do with anything? Being a cosplayer is my identity, and so is being male, and so is being black. And being a black cosplayer causes controversy no matter where I go. So it's not like I'm just existing as a person on the website. It's not like I'm just existing as someone showing his life or posting selfies. I'm existing as someone who offends people because I dress up like people who don't look like me. And even outside of Chinese people, there's a lot of non-Chinese people just going on there posing as Chinese people, adding to their racism for fun. And I'm not about that. And the content that I would post to REDnote would be cosplay content. But also, a lot of my content could get me banned. I'm not going to learn Mandarin anytime soon. So I'm just knowing my boundaries and my limits, which I think a lot of Americans need to work on, because there's no reason you should go to another app and ruin it to try and save our app. Think 3 steps ahead. think critically, think compassionately. My final thoughts about all this, anything after this point in the video, is my opinion. So as of 2024, in my head, I had concluded that TikTok was not going to be banned. I understood that rich older white people in the government had a lot of power and there's a lot that they could do, but I just felt like there were too many other things in the way to make it happen. Obviously that's not working out, and right now it's getting really close to the wire. I also figured that there were just too many rich, important people who relied on TikTok, and the US economy would crash, so it was too big of a risk. But again, we're seeing that that might not matter, and unfortunately the Supreme Court didn't really have very enthusiastic views towards not allowing the ban to go through. Granted, there were some positives, so that doesn't help with any of the uneasiness. But as for my current predictions, obviously I still don't 100% know what's going to happen. Nobody does, unless you're some sort of higher up who's pulling the strings, and that's getting into like kind of conspiracy theorist things, which we're not going to get into. I still have an inkling that the bill won't go through, but if it does, it's going to cause such a precedent that it's going to be reversed. The damage will still be done, TikTok will still have its issues, but I just have a really hard time conceiving that this app will be completely gone, when I know this sounds funny, there's so many rich white people who rely on this app. And also I just feel like it would cause so much backlash from the community around the US that the government would be pressured to pull back. I'm also thinking about all the other things going on right now, like what's happening in Gaza, Luigi Mangione, the current economy, climate change and all the associated crises, and just other things that play into how the government is being looked at right now, and the sensitivity and the aggression that the American people are feeling, and the lengths they're willing to go. Not to sound grim, but like, it just does not seem like it can work out for long term. Hello, as I'm editing the video right now, NBC published that the Biden administration looks for ways to keep TikTok available in the US, so now my phone is blowing up with people being like, oh my gosh, there's hope. Cool, but again, we don't know, but that's how fickle this thing is. Regardless, it has been an honor being on TikTok. Despite all the weird stuff, the lows, the drama, this app did change my life. It changed the trajectory of my entire life. I grew a following, I grew a community, I met some of my closest friends ever. I could go on so much longer about all the positives, but I don't really have the time or the mental space to do that. But thank you to everyone who has supported me, who has watched my videos, who has encouraged me, who has helped me, who has taught me, and who has been there for me. That's all I have.